Hello, everyone. She's out there. Lorraine, Aline, thank you for coming. Uh, just trying to get the show started. I'm trying to, been having a decent day. I hope everybody else is. I did have to work today. I volunteer to work on Saturdays. It gives me a little extra money. Uh, if I don't, I lose money every week because I'm no longer working 40 hours. I'm now working 35. But if I work Saturdays, I get 41 hours. Hello, Eileen. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having a good weekend. I know it's Sunday there. It's Saturday night here. Eileen, can you hear me? Whoops. Thank you for being here. Hey, Mike. Mike, can you hear me? I'm just wanting to check. Thank you. Thank you. I wasn't sure. That's one thing, when you're doing the live stream, you can't tell if everybody hears you unless they let you know. And how you doing, Mike, Eileen? I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, it's Saturday here in the North America and Canada and the United States and Mexico. It's still Saturday. I know it's Sunday morning in the Philippines, so I hope you're having a good morning. So, hey Jerry, come on up, buddy. Mike, you can come up too. Eileen can come up if she wants. You know me, I like having people up here to talk with. I went to work yesterday. It was a nice day, spitting snow, but it was in the 30s, upper 30s actually, and so it wasn't doing anything. I got off work and it was barely snowing, but it was snowing a little bit. I get home. I get up this morning. It snowed all night, I guess. There was, well, not all night, but some of it. Go to work. It snowed. Listen to me. It snowed most of the day while I was at work, but by the time I got off, it quit. But it was only in the 20s today. So, Ende Ann, how you doing, Ende? It's been a while since you've been here, but thank you for coming. So today, after I got home, I just stayed home. I didn't even go down and check on my mail. There's no sense in it. I'll do it tomorrow. Hopefully, the weather will be a little bit better than it is today. But if not, I'll still do it tomorrow. Let's just take it easy today, I guess. But we're, got all my bills paid for the month. Now, Mike, probably most of them after they get done here, they'll go and ask for forgiveness for visiting my channel. What's depressing to me, Jerry, is those two airplane wrecks. I find that depressing. The political news, I know you and I are on different, and Mike, we're all on different political sides of the spectrum. I'm on the conservative side, you guys more on the liberal. But that's all right. I happen to be a liberal conservative or conservative liberal. I'm more in the middle. But, everybody to their own. We got Mike Hunt coming up. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it
going, boss? I can't hear you, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Let me try it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I turned my mic up, my ear receptor up so I could hear a little bit better. I think I had mine down too low, not for me talking, but for me to hear you.
Okay.
So how you been, Mike?
Pretty good. How you been?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, I'll take care of that later. Like I said, been working the last few Saturdays. It gets me up over 40 hours. It means I work 6 days a week, but I like the extra money because my new schedule is, if I only work my schedule, it's only 35 hours.
Okay.
And I work 6 hours on Sunday, which is it's actually an easy day. It's the one day of the week that I can, where I work at now, I can get on my phone and actually be on my phone at work. Where I work at now, hey, Lorraine 17, thank you for coming. Where I
Hello,
work at
Ryan.
now during the work week, we're monitoring cameras, a chat, and the computer for other things, but mainly it's the chat and the cameras we're watching. The chat is I won't go into it a whole lot, but it doesn't happen much. But when it does, we have to respond. Somebody has to, one of the guards have to respond to it. And most of the time it's a wrong chat. We have to just tell them it's the wrong chat. That's what this chat we monitor is not for the questions they have. Ours is, well, I'll tell you, I don't think it's a secret. I monitor a chat that if somebody, one of the people we work with, which a lot of them are off site, they'll contact us because it's a welfare check. They have somebody that's on the line that they're talking to that they're worried about. So we'll have to get a hold of somebody to go check on them, make sure they're okay. So it's kind of an important, thing. So you really need to watch that. On Saturday, I'm there. And when this chat comes in, it makes a noise. So you can sit there as long as you're listening. Where I'm at, I can be on the phone, but if it makes a noise and I got to respond, I've worked 3 Saturdays. I think 3. Yeah, I believe it's 3 Saturdays now, and not one chat came in. Hey, Chelsea, how you doing, Chelsea? And so, thank you for giving me the thumbs up. We appreciate it. But anyway, so that's what I do on Saturday. It's only for 6 hours. And so I just sit there, watch the cameras, and I have the cameras on. I could probably not have them on, but when I turn on the computer to get to the chat that I got to watch, it brings up the cameras and what we call Brevo. Brevo is the system that lets me know when people swipe somewhere and where they're going into, where they're authorized to be there. Well, on Saturday, the only people in the building are in my area. I shouldn't say the building. I only have the control of 3 floors, and pretty soon it's only going to be 2. The only people there are authorized to be anywhere. That's security and facilities. We're the only people actually in the building that I worry about, and we can go in any one of the rooms. All of us can. So it's not a big deal. So I really don't have to monitor Brevo that much. Like I said, I'm there for the chat. And like I said, if a chat comes in and makes a noise, I can see what they're saying, and then I can respond. I have a keyboard right in front of me. And so that's what I do for 6 hours. I sit there and monitor that chat. And because, like I said, it lets me know when it comes in, I can be on my phone. So I don't have to sit there and stare at the monitor, So that's why they don't mind if I'm on the phone. Like I said, though, the rest of the time I have to be off the phone. So they want, because I also monitor Brevo, like I said, so, and the cameras, because they don't want people to piggyback into a room. So if 2 people go into a room and only one swipe, I got to report it. Somebody's got to go check and find out who piggied back in and why they did it. And then we got to write a report. So those are the things I'm watching for during the week that I'm not watching for on the weekend. And we're only there on Saturday. We're not there on Sunday. Emmeline, how you doing? Jaylene, thank you for coming. And I want to thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. We're just trying to have some fun. Mike's got his mic off, so I don't know what he's up to. He's doing something.
I'm here.
Well, then talk to me, boss.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, what's going on with you?
Not much. Just I'm here in Pennsylvania where my parents are, and just my dad's in a nursing home, and I'm just visiting him.
Okay, that's what I do when I go back to Indiana. Visit my mom, not my dad, though.
Yeah, my mom.
Now, are you guys anywhere near where the plane wreck was at?
No,
That's good.
no.
Hey, Rona.
I heard a little bit about it. I'm not certain what happened.
Well, I can tell you what happened. I have been following, like I told Jerry, the plane wrecks have been kind of depressing to me. It was a medical plane that wrecked in, I want to say, northeast Philadelphia. What was going on was this young lady, and well under 18, I know that she had a life-saving procedure. She went through the Shriners. You know, the Shriners are adolescents
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
They're free treatment. She was from Mexico, Tijuana area. She had been there for 4 months, and her mother had been there the entire time with her. And they finally got through the procedure, you know, life-saving procedure. She's finally done. She's going home. And so her and her mother are on this little medical jet, Learjet, along with the pilot, the co-pilot, and a couple of medical people. And shortly after takeoff, for some reason, I don't know why it happened, but for some reason it went into a nosedive and went straight, almost straight down, not quite straight down, but a really steep angle, hit the ground, exploded into a fireball. So all 6 people on the plane were killed. And so far, at least one person in a car was killed. This was in Northeast Pennsylvania. And they got video of it off a door cam video. And you can see the plane coming in. And you know, maybe you might not know it's a plane if you didn't know it, but you can see the outline of it going down at about, a good 45-degree angle towards the ground, if not more. And then you see this big fireball when it hits the ground and explodes. And so, yeah, that's you think about it, the young lady that just had a life-saving procedure done. She's been cleared. She's going home. They were talking to some people that worked at the hospital that she was at, the Shriners, and she was so happy to go home. Her mom, and I guess she made really good friends with the nurses and some other patients, and everybody was really happy for them. And then that happened, you know. Yeah, there was one. I saw the one from a vehicle as well, Mike. I didn't realize there was 2 door cams, but the one door cam they showed quite a few times, and then there was one from the vehicle. I saw that, but that when I was watching, they didn't show it that much. Glenda, how you doing? Hang on a minute, Glenda.
So, what's the synopsis? What do you think happened?
They still don't know for sure. Like I said, this just happened yesterday.
What do you think happened, though?
I don't know. When it comes to planes, I really do not know. I am. It could have been a stall. It could have been some other kind of error. Some kind of error happened. You know, some kind of mistake happened, whether it was with the plane or, God forbid, a pilot error. You know, because they hadn't even been in the air that long. They were taken off from Philadelphia, and they crashed in Northeast Philadelphia.
So it was full of fuel when that happened.
Oh yeah, it was. They said it was a plane. It had a jet fuel. Plane full of. It was fully loaded with jet fuel, about 6,000 gallons of jet fuel. They were going to Tijuana, which is where the little girl and her mother was from. And like I said, just been
self-deporting, or what's going on with?
Well, like I said, what happened was what I seen was a door cam, somebody's door cam, that caught the plane going down. And like Mike said, there was somebody else that was in a car. It looked like, from all I could tell, it looked like he was vlogging his drive home, or showing how bad the traffic was, because it was right at around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Yesterday afternoon. This is when it happened, right around 6 o'clock last night. And so it's busy traffic time, So guy was recording something for some reason, and then you can see from his angle, you can see the explosion, and you can tell that he was in heavy traffic too. So, like I said, he might have been recording somebody that was acting like an idiot. Maybe somebody cut him off, so he decided to. I don't know why he was recording. They don't tell you why he was recording. Yeah, they're saying it'll be months, if not it'll be a very long time before they have all the answers, and even then they may not have all the answers. You got the plane crash that went down in D.C., the Reagan, the collision between the aircraft and the Black Hawk helicopter, right outside of Reagan International Airport, went down in the Potomac. That one, killed a lot of people. That killed over 60 people, I think. And that was there was a skater. It was a skater and his coach, I think, and some other people. It was Reagan International's for smaller commercial flights. They're not for the big. When I say the big, I mean the big aircraft carriers. It's for the smaller carriers. So, with the I think it was an American airline airplane and the Black Hawk, if I remember right, that just a couple of days before that, so it was about 3 days ago. I can understand that, Mike, but this in the United States, it had been 20-some years since an accident, that took with commercial airlines had took anybody's life. Over 20-some years. And so, it's very rare, and but it does happen and makes news when it does. We lose more people on the road from car wrecks, automobile accidents, than we lose in 10 years or more with airplane wrecks. It's well over 10 years. Probably might even be 20 years or more before you equal 1 year of car wrecks. But car wrecks are so common, they don't talk about them unless it involves a busload of people. Hey, girlie, thank you for coming. All of them are sad. They really are. But we've kind of grown accustomed to car wrecks because they happen so often. So they're not big news. Like I said, unless it's like a couple of years ago, we had a limousine here in New York was involved in a deadly accident with a bunch of kids got killed. That made national news. Like I said, if there's a busload of people that get hurt, sometimes a family visiting another state will make a little more national news if the whole family or most of the family gets killed. But a normal car wreck, that's local news. It does not make national news. For what, like I said, it's just because it's become so custom that we lose around 50,000 people. Yeah, it was a figure skating group and their coach.
I think there was 14 of them.
Yeah, and the Filipino police was also killed. But I'm not sure. I think he was with the Black Hawk, but I could be wrong. He might have been in the airplane. I'm not sure. And one of the reasons why the orange guy, as you call him, the Donald, as some people call him, or the Don. Yeah. But one of the reasons why he says it's DEI, I don't know if you know this or not, but they have a lawsuit against the DEI from before a couple years ago. The Don has nothing to do with this, but there's some people that were white that had one guy had a perfect score, and they wouldn't hire him because he was white. Now, the Ronald Reagan Airport was understaffed compared to what it should be. They're supposed to have something like 30 air traffic controllers on duty for that airport because it's a very busy airport. They had 19, and of the 19, one left early about an hour or so before the wreck, before that collision. So they were understaffed. They said, well, it was within normal. Well, it's within normal because you're not fully staffed. I mean, they had over 1,000 qualified white people applied for the job, not just this job here, but I'm talking about for air traffic controllers. All qualified, all turned down because they're white, because they want to hire DEI people. So I'm not saying the people they hired are unqualified. I don't know, but they're understaffed because of DEI. No. I disagree with you, Mike. He doesn't want to be called daddy. He want to be called emperor. Yeah, but I'm saying, Mike, what I'm saying here in the United States, and I'm saying commercial, not private. Private aircrafts are a different ball game altogether. I had some friends that were killed in a private airplane crash, but that's been over 30 years ago. That's been closer to 35 back home. One guy was learning to fly, and the other guy was teaching him. And they had an airplane crash. He was a guy I knew from college. Now, close friends, no, but he was close friends to some of my close friends. I knew him, but he was, like I said, I even talked with him and all that. So I would sit down so we knew each other. He was a friend, but not a close friend, is what I'm saying. Matter of fact, I sold him. I had a car that went bad. I was going to have to junk it. He had the same kind of car, and he bought it for parts instead of me junking it out. I sold it to him cheap so he could have parts off of it. So a lot of the parts, especially the body parts of my car, was a lot better than his. My motor was kind of, blanked the bed, and but he didn't need the motor or the transmission. Transmission was even worse. The transmission's what really went bad, but the body and some of the other stuff was in a lot better shape than his. So he bought it to fix his up. Like I said, we were college students at the time, and so you try to get the best vehicle you can afford, and that's what he did. He bought mine to fix his, to make his better, and I'm just glad it wasn't the car that, because I would have really felt bad then. I felt bad for him anyway, but I would have been wondering if it was something he took off my car, if it had been the other. But yeah, like I said, there's something like 50-some thousand people, though, Mike, every year killed in car wrecks. And there's not near that many killed worldwide in airplane crashes. And that's worldwide. The 55,000 just here in the U.S. So you're more likely to die from a car wreck than from a airplane crash. If you were in the Philippines, you'd be probably more likely to die from a coconut falling on your head than an airplane crash. But I could be wrong on the coconut. I'm not sure how many people die from that each year in the Philippines. But yeah, so it can be a risky thing, but how else are you going to get to the Philippines, Mike? Take a slow boat, and then you got typhoons or hurricanes, depending on what part of the world you're in. And, that could sink your ship. So there's always dangers. You just have to decide whether or not it's worth taking the risk to face that one danger to do what you want to do. I'll fly to get to the Philippines, no problem, once it's time for me to go. But that's me. So, Mike, how's the rest of your family doing? Have you seen your daughter here recently? Mr. Hunt's not on the line right now, but yeah, I don't think he wants to be called Daddy. I think he wants to be called the Don. Remember the Mafia, the Don, the Teflon Don, maybe His Highness. Daddy's too small of a term. Now, wait a minute. I should take that back. Well, veterans, it depends on what veterans you're talking about. DEI don't just, if you're a veteran, that doesn't guarantee you're going to get hired by DEI. Sorry, Mike, that's not the case. Now, the ones they hire that are qualified for DEI without being a veteran, the veterans may get preferential treatment. That might be. Well, I'm sorry about the food here, Mike. Hey, BCM, how you doing? Pamela, welcome. And I don't want somebody doing the job just because they're DEI. I'm not saying some of the DEI people hard. Like I said, I'm not saying this, that they're not qualified. What I'm saying is if you're keeping other qualified people from being hard, because you stress DEI, like I said, the aviation people, the ones I just used the term a minute ago, and I'm slipping my mind. But if you're understaffed and you're refusing to hire white people that are qualified because you want to hire DEI people, I don't think that's a good thing. Now, I'm not saying if you got 3 people in there and they're all qualified and you're understaffed and, let's say, minority, black or Asian or whatever, I'm not saying you don't give them preferential treatment. But when you're understaffed and you can't get enough DEI hires to staff what you need, then throw that DEI out the window. And I'm going to tell you the truth now. The people that are there before the DEIs, when you come in and they know you're a DEI hire, it's going to be hard to earn their trust. It's going to be hard to earn their respect because they're going to think you only got the job because of DEI. I don't know about you. I don't want to be hard because I'm DEI. I want to be hard because I'm qualified. Now, I know I didn't get some jobs that if the DEI had been around, I probably would have got because of ageism. Because people discriminate against you because of your age too, Mike. You know that. And I know I didn't get some jobs because of my age. I'm willing to bet you any money on it. But I don't want to get the job because DEI says they have to give it to me. No, thank you. I'd rather know I got the job because I'm qualified. And veterans still get hired at other places. It's just not DEI. They're not going to get the DEI bonus. And there's some places that were giving the veterans a bonus before the DEI program ever came around, and they're probably still doing it. U.S. Post Office being one of them. I don't know if you know that or not. But you get an extra 10 or 15 points on the test if you're a veteran. At least you did back in the 70s and 80s. I never took the test, but I know that's a fact because I looked into it and thought about going for that job, but didn't do it. I also know the prison systems count your military service as a bonus for going as a prison guard. I know that for a fact because I have friends that did it. And this is back in the 70s and 80s. That's long before DEI. So a lot of that stuff for the veterans has been around a lot longer than DEI, and I'm sure it's going to stay around. But that doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it that's the way it was. Hey, Madeline. Hey, thank you for coming. I just noticed you. Charmaine, I just saw you come in too. Sorry about that. You know me, I get to talking and don't always pay attention to the chat like I should. Eileen is saying ABCM is having a raid on my live chat, so we appreciate that from ABCM. And we're going to continue. But yeah, Mike, like I said, I'm not against when everything is equal and you're trying to help some people that have been mistreated, such as Native Americans. Let's be honest, they're in that group, especially in certain parts of the country, and even in Canada. And blacks, which have actually made more progress than a lot of the other groups here recently. And I'm not saying by DEI, I'm talking about since the 60s. They've made a lot of progress since then, as far as being hard. No, DEI was not started in 1965, not the way it is today. No, Mike, that's wrong. The DEI we're talking about came about in the last maybe 10 years. I'm talking about when they started including whether or not you consider yourself trans or not. Trans had nothing to do with DEI originally. No. If you're talking about equal rights, yeah, equal rights came about in 1965, the civil rights. But that was not DEI. DEI is trying to hijack that. But that was a civil rights, equal employment opportunity. And that was when you could not discriminate against race, sex, and the orientation came along later. That was changed later. Originally, it was against your race, your sex, or your religion. Sexual orientation came later. That was not in 1965. And DEI did not start it. Like I said, they did not come about. That was the Equal Employment Opportunity in 1965, not DEI. And oh, by the way, the veterans from Vietnam War, that was in the 70s. That's the one they really started doing. That was for the 70s at the end, because during the 60s, the population was against the veterans. They hated the veterans from Vietnam. They would spit on them in the 60s and early 70s. Remember, I lived through this. Like I said, I mean, I was in the service in the 70s. I was never spit on, but it was in the news that people would come back from Vietnam by plane and be in uniform. People would spit on them, and they'd show it on the news. No, LBJ did not start DEI. Like I said, he started Equal Employment Opportunity, and he couldn't start it. It was the Republicans who passed it, not the Democrats. Check it out. The Republicans passed the Civil Rights Act. That was the Republicans. Johnson was the president, but it was Republicans in the Congress and the Senate that passed it. Check your history. A lot of Southern Republicans went Democrat after that. And a lot of your Democrats back then, the ones that changed over, like Tip O'Neill and a couple others, I'm not sure about Tip, but one of his buddies, they were in the Klan. Down in the South, a lot of those people were Klansmen. George Wallace, the governor, threatened would not let any blacks enter a white school until they sent the National Guard down to protect the girl to get her in there. So like I said, a lot of this came about because of the Republicans, and a lot of these younger blacks don't realize that. But yeah, it was a Republican Congress that passed that. Johnson was the president, I'll give you that. But it was Republicans that passed it. You can check that out if you want. The Ku Klux Klan was started by the Democrats. Southern Democrats started the Ku Klux Klan back in the 1800s. You can check that out too. It was not Republicans. So the blacks that are for the Democrats don't know the history of the Democratic Party. They started the Ku Klux Klan. The Civil Rights Act started in 1964. That was the Republicans that started it. They're the ones that passed it. And like you said, Johnson was the president. I'll tell you who was for it before that and couldn't get it through. That was Kennedy, John F. K. John Kennedy was for that. He died. He couldn't get it through. Johnson and the Republicans got it through. That's who got that one through. And let's get off the American politics. Not everybody here is interested in our politics. I know you are. I know a lot of my politics. I'm not a savant when it comes to politics, but I do know the civil rights part. I've checked it out myself many times. I had a black friend ask me, what did the Republican Party ever do for me? And I told him the Civil Rights Act. He said, no. I said, check it out. So he checked it out. He said, that's the last time they ever did anything for us. Well, who started the Ku Klux Klan? I'm sorry, it started in the South by Democrats. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't Ku Klux Klan in the North, because there were. There was Ku Klux Klan around where I live. All right, Julius, let's see who you are. You got your. All right, Julius, you're going to have to show me your picture, show your face. I'm going to have to remove you. If you want to come back up, show me your face. I don't know you. So I'm not going to take a picture. You're going to show your face, and I'll bring you up and you can talk. I don't know you. I've had people come in and start talking junk and then cut out, and I'm not going to have that. I don't mind if you want to come up and talk about the politics we're talking about, but you're going to have to show your face to back it up. A picture will not do, because you can steal somebody else's picture. So, if you want to come up, have your face like I have mine now. Mike, I know. Mike Hunt, I know, and he shows his face quite a few times when he comes up. Right now, he's not talking, so he's off camera. But like I said, if you want to come up when I don't know you, you're going to have to show me your face. Mike will verify this, and so will some of the people in the chat. I let 3 people up one time, one day, on one chat, and they acted like idiots. They said something derogatory and then left. So no more. I'm not doing that anymore. This is my chat. If you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up, but you have to show your face. At least the first few times until I get to know who you are. Then if you want to come up every time, come up. If you want to show just your picture, fine. As long as I know who it is. And I don't know who you are, Julius. So you're more than welcome to come up, talk about whatever you want, but you have to show me your face. Thank you, ABCM. We appreciate that. Now, just to let you know, Julius, in case you don't know, I don't know how well you know my channel. A lot of my people are Mike married to a beautiful woman, is in Canada. Jerry, well, his name tells you South Texas is where he's at. ABCM channel. Alan Figuration, Aline Cruz, and Pamela, and a few others. They're in the Philippines. A lot of my followers are in the Philippines. Dez is in the Philippines. Just came up. Hello, Dez. Now, Brian, you're going to have to move around so I can see who you are. I don't mind if you want to come up. You can talk about the tower. You can talk about the wreck, but I want to make sure it's actually you. Like I was telling Julius, if you don't show your face as a picture where I can see you moving and know it's actually you, I'm not going to let you up. I gotta know. I'm going to bring you up, but if you're not there, I'm going to bring you back down like Julius, put you back in the backstage until you decide you want to show your face. All right,
hi guys.
Brian, move your face. Show me your face. not the picture. I want to see you.
This is just a photo.
Yeah, I want to see you, not the photo. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take you down.
I don't have.
You got a camera. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're an idiot. So that's what I thought. You're just some jerkwad who thinks you're smart. Well, Brian, you'll never come back up. I won't bring anybody up. Like I said, unless I can see your face. You probably live in your mama's basement. But tell your mom hi for me.
Dang, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why, when people can't show who they are, and like I said, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
You show your face quite a bit. But if you can't show me who you are, you don't deserve to be up. At least Julius didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to give Julius some prop for not doing that. But that could have been Julius coming up as Brian. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if you're not willing to show your face and your movement, I can't bring you up if I don't know you. I've been burnt too many. That's too many times. And that kind of stuff can get me in trouble with YouTube. Even though I'm on, even though I'm doing live StreamYard, that can still get me in trouble with YouTube. Now, I'm not monetized. I'm not trying to get monetized. But I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube either. I've been doing my channel since 2018. Now, I've not been doing, I shouldn't be saying doing my channel. I've had my channel since 2018. I started posting videos and stuff about 2023. So I've only been doing, YouTube itself, actually doing videos and stuff since about 2023. But I've been on YouTube now for 7, maybe 8 years, because I was on YouTube before I ever created a channel. I only created the channel so I could make comments on live streams and stuff. Because back then, back in 2018, when I started following live streams, you had to have a channel or they wouldn't let you make comments. And I had questions on a couple of things I wanted to ask questions about, and I couldn't do it. So then I created my channel in 2018. I actually started doing YouTube, watching YouTubes around early 2018 or late 2017. And then in 2018, I started my channel so I could make comments. I didn't start posting, like I said, until about Mike Married to a Beautiful Woman is one of them that got me to post my very first video. He was wanting to know why I used the name Lazy Larry. And back then, that was my channel. I originally started off as Larry Lee, my own name. And then I started using the name Lazy Larry. And later on, I went to Lazy Larry Lee, but I started using the Lazy Larry and Dan from Dan and Minnie's, and then Mike from Married to a Beautiful Woman, and a few others kept asking me how come I used the name Lazy Larry. So I decided to do a video on it and see just to put it out there so if people wanted to know why I used it, it was there. And then people were telling me they were having a hard time finding my videos. And all right, ABC, I'm glad you're visiting it, even though you're doing a live stream. They were having such a hard time finding me as Lazy Larry. That's when I went to Lazy Larry Lee. Jerry's known me for a long time. And Jerry knew me as, I'm not sure if I knew Jerry when I was still Larry Lee, but I did know him when I was Lazy Larry. And then I became Lazy Larry Lee. And the reason why I went to Lazy Larry Lee was because they were having such a hard time finding me as Lazy Larry. And when I added the Lee part to it, when they typed in Lazy Larry Lee, I was the first thing to pop up. But if they typed in Lazy Larry, there was a whole bunch of cartoons that I didn't know about, but a character named Lazy Larry. And it would fill 2, 3, 4, 5 pages you had to go through before you'd ever get to me. And because when they told me they were having a hard time, I tried looking myself up, and that's what I found. So I added my last name. I typed it in, and boom, I was right there. So I just changed it to Lazy Larry Lee. And so, ABCM, I always appreciate all your help too. Anna MC, hello, how you doing, Anna? Give me a second here. Here you go, Anna. We'll give you a blue jacket. And we already had. I'm glad you weren't here earlier, Anna. We had one idiot come up and try and showed a little bit of porn. But like I said, from now on, nobody comes up unless I can see them moving or unless I know them. Like Dan could come up and use his avatar. That's fine. I know Dan. I've known Dan since before I even started videoing, doing YouTube. I met Dan back in the one of the very actually I think it was the very first live chat I started following. That was Chris and Sabu. Jerry was there. Big Mac Daddy, who's we still miss, but Big Mac Daddy. That's how I met Big Mac Daddy. Was then Chris and Sabu. So we we've kind of grown up together. When I started following Dan, and even Jerry back in the day, I wasn't following near as many people as I follow now. And what I used to do is I found somebody that like, all right, I'm kind of interested. Let's go back, and I'd go back to the very beginning of when they started vlogging, and I'd watch all their vlogs until I caught up. I did that with Jerry. I did that with Dan. Excuse me. I did that with the Filipino P. Yeah, he is the boy toy over there. What can one say? But anyway, like I said, when I first started following people, that's what I would do. But then I got to where I was following so many people, I couldn't do that anymore. It was just too hard because if you did that with one group, one person, and then you started losing track of the others because it was just too hard to try to keep up with everything. And now I got so many, I can't even keep up with the ones that I have. I fall behind on a lot of them. Yeah, Jerry, it was great memories with Chris and Sabu. And Mike married. Mike married back then was was a slightly different name. We won't go into the name. Well, I don't know about your Aswa or Swa, or however you pronounce it, Mike. I'm not sure how to pronounce the word. I know it means your wife. I don't know. I'm not sure about your wife, but my youngest sister, her daughter and her granddaughter, my niece and great niece, they love the shop. They'll go to the mall just to window shop. I mean, and absolutely have no plan on buying anything. They just love going shopping. I know a lot of women are that way. I'm like a lot of men. When I go shopping, I'm going for a shirt. See shirt, buy shirt. I'm not in there just window shopping. All right, so yeah, we started following Chris close to the same time then. Because like I said, it was because of Chris I created my channel because I couldn't make comments. You could comment without on videos after a video without having, hey, Minnie. But you couldn't comment in live chats without having a channel, and you had to be connected to the channel that you were trying to talk to back then. And Yeah, I started following Chris right after right before he started doing his live streams. I found him. I went back and I was watching all of his videos before the live streams, and then he started doing his live streams, and so that's when I created mine. Uh, I wasn't sure if I'd like live streams. He's the one that convinced me to like live streams, and I wasn't sure if I was going to follow him when he started the live streams. So I watched the first couple without saying anything, I think, just to see how I liked it, And I decided I like it. So I created my YouTube persona. And like I said, back then it was just Larry Lee. And Mike, and you and Jerry and Dan might remember this, but when I first started following him, there was me, Larry Lee. There's a guy who went by Larry G. I think his last name was G-E. Another guy went by Larry B. I think it was just his last initial. And then, so there was three of us. The names sounded very similar. And there was another Larry or two, but I think it was like Larry Outdoors or Larry something else. And so I decided to, after a while, I decided to change it to Lazy Larry because if he said something about Larry B or Larry G or Larry Lee and wanted to ask a question to one of us, if you weren't paying real close attention, or if you weren't sure, he might be talking to the other one, and you think, well, you might have said my name. So I switched it to Lazy Larry. So if he wanted to talk to me, I would know it would be me he's talking to. And then later on, like I said, once I decided to start doing videos and posted them, which was a few years later, because like I said, for a long time, I went by Larry Lee. I just went by Larry Lee. And I went by Lazy Larry for a long time before I started doing videos. And my very first video was explaining how I got the name Lazy Larry and why I used it. And like I said, the easy explanation was I used it in the chat to differentiate myself from Larry B and Larry G. That was all it was. Now, how I got the nickname was a different story. It was a little longer. That video is about 15 minutes. It's the very first video I ever did. And I didn't mind it that much. So I did a couple others. And the more I started doing, the more I enjoyed it. And then later on, I started doing live streams. I thought, well, we'll give it a try, see if I like it. Yeah, I remember. He blocked it where he couldn't even see your comments anymore. Yeah. Well, yeah, really. I would love to see how Chris is doing. Dan might, somebody was saying he might have moved. Yeah. Now, wasn't Mike married to a beautiful Filipina? And you just changed Filipina to woman? Because you heard it could be considered derogatory to say Filipina married to a, wasn't that it, Mike? Now, last I know, Bopsy, wasn't he Ilo? Didn't Bopsy operate out of Ilo when he was in the Philippines? Ilo is one of the places I would think about going, only because of the infrastructure, for one reason. It's got that beautiful boardwalk, riverwalk they call it. Excuse me, look at the riverwalk. Very clean. They've done a lot of work to make that city quite clean, very walkable, bicycle friendly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was Iloilo. I think that's the way it's actually spelled. Capital Iloilo. I think it's all one word, Iloilo. And but yeah, I used to follow another vlogger that lived in Iloilo. It was Tito Tim, and I'm trying to think of his wife's name. Was it Marilyn? Can't think of it. But now her family lived outside of it. She had an uncle, had some property outside of Iloilo, and they had moved out there for a while. He built a small house on her uncle's property with their permission. I mean, it was a more like a studio house, and then they built a front porch, which they ended up enclosing and making it a little bit more of a like a couple room house. And I watched that build, and I watched his channel for a long time, and he always suffered from headaches. He was retired of medical. He was in his 50s, I believe, when he retired. He had a head injury when he was, I believe he was still in the service when it happened. It just caused him terrible headaches. Well, they ended up moving outside of Elo, not to her uncle's house, because even when he was there, he still vlogged. But they went farther out to her family. They lived out farther out in the province, and they were talking about moving out there for a while, and then he quit vlogging. But I followed him for a long time. He had some great videos on Iloilo. It could be. I mean, I know that his wife was had a very good job, so that I never was sure what she did. I know in the States they both worked in the medical field, right outside of Chicago. They lost their jobs around the same time and were living off of their savings, and they had the daughter. They already had the daughter, and so they got to thinking about how much money they were spending every month while they were looking for work, and they decided to go to the Philippines, where his wife could still work. And I guess they had quite a good savings, the way everything sounded, because like I said, they were spending, I forget how much, just on rent. And believe me, around Chicago, even back then, rent was not cheap. They were living in a nice neighborhood, so they were spending quite a bit of money. Yeah, he was either coder or decoder. His wife did something similar. They both worked in the medical thing, inputting information and stuff. And like I said, they lost their jobs right around the same time. Unicorn was kind of young at that time. I can't remember her real name, but it doesn't matter. I've never followed that couple in Lapu Lapu. I didn't follow them, Mike. Lapu Lapu would be an area I wouldn't mind seeing some videos on, but I didn't follow them. Like I said, I right now, as y'all know, my goal is to go to the Cebu and check it out. But there's a couple other places. If I decide Cebu is not where I want to live, it's going to be my home base while I try to find a place to live. Like I said, Iloilo is one of the places. that area, there's a couple other cities close to there that I would check out as well. Cavite area, where Steven from the Asian expat, it's called the Asian Expat Channel now. It used to be the Filipino Expat Info Channel or something like that. And that area there, right outside of Manila, or maybe in Manila, in the right area of Manila, anyway, would not be BGC. I'll guarantee you that. I couldn't afford that. Might not even be. Probably couldn't even afford. Well, there's a couple of places probably in Makati I could afford, but how well would I live? I mean, I would live as well as I'm living here. I'd live better there than I would here on just my Social Security. But would I live as well as I want to? That would be the question. Because I don't know if I could find it quite as cheap as I could in Cebu. I think I can, but I prefer Cebu at first to give it a try, because I've seen so many videos on it that it really has piqued my interest as an area to visit, an area to try to live. Dan's not that far away. Mike and his wife doesn't live that far away. There's people over on Negros that I know through YouTube. I don't know them, but I know them. If you know what I'm saying, like, how well do you know somebody on YouTube? There's Sammy over in that area. There's some vloggers in Dumaguete and Valencia. I would love to see the Valencia Sunday market. If I ever go there, that's one of the things I want to visit, was the Sunday market in Valencia. But like I said, there's areas I want to visit. So it depends on where I live, can I afford to go? And I want to be able to travel at least every other month to someplace different for a few days, just so I can see other areas and do other things. I will do vlogs on that stuff because I know people have done vlogs on it, but it'll be new to me. I hope when I do travel around some that I will be able to meet some of my YouTube friends that live in those areas. That's something I'd like to do. I would be surprised if she's not the biggest vlogger in the Dumaguete area. I mean, she's huge. I would love to meet the Filipina P, but I have no aspiration of trying to track her down. But it would be great to see her, talk to her. If I ever go, like I said, go to that area. She's up around Valencia, I believe, but she goes into Dumaguete a lot. But the reason I would go to, like I said, Valencia is not because of the P, but there's a Phil Am couple that vlog out of Valencia called Turquoise Sunrise, I think. It might be Sunset, but it's Turquoise Sunrise and Sunset. They have 2 kids. They got a daughter, Brianna, and a son, Bryson. There's a fairly big age gap between the husband and wife. And there's a decent sized age gap between the daughter and the son. The daughter's probably around 11, maybe 12, and the son's about 4. I think I'm trying to remember now. I think he's around 4. So that's a fair size age gap between the siblings. And Brianna just started going to regular school. They homeschooled her up until January of this year. So she just started going to regular school. And they're homeschooling Bryson, but, age appropriate homeschooling. So they take him out a lot and do other things. Because, like I said, he's only about 4, I believe. So, it's a lot of things but I've been following them for a very long time, and they lived in Valencia before I ever started following P. They lived in Valencia a couple different times because they also went back to the States. Both their kids were born in the States. They lived in the same apartment complex they're living in now, Ma's Paws. That's where Brianna learned to swim. Now Bryson's learning to swim in the exact same pool, years later, because like I said, she was only about 4 or so when I started following them. She wasn't much older than what Bryson is. And it was they had this 1-bedroom. Yeah, they're still, if you're talking about John and Maurice, yeah, they're still in Valencia. But yeah, Mike, if you're talking about John and Maurice, they're still in Valencia. They're still doing vlogs. Like I said, Brianna just started school. Like I said, she's 11 or 12. She's not very old. And she just started school for the very first time. Yeah, they moved back to the U.S. for a while, a few years. Like I said, they went back before Bryson was born. And one of the reasons was the hospital there, Silliman, or pretty sure it was Silliman, said John couldn't be in the room when his son was born, and John wanted to be there. He was there for Brianna, but she was born, like I said, in the U.S. as well, and so they moved back to Nevada, I believe it was, and they had the very same midwife for Bryson as they did for Brianna. And so he was there for the birth of both of his children. And like I said, they had the same exact midwife. Good night, Jerry. You take care, man. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here, boss. And so they stayed back there till Bryson was about 2, maybe 3. And then they came back, and they finally did something they've not done this entire time, because they went back and forth for years. They kept going back and forth. He always kept the same car. He had, I want to say it was a Lexus SUV. He loved it. They had this storage locker, and they downsized. They went from like a 20-footer to 10-footer, and excuse me, people. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, hang on a minute. But anyway, this last time he went home, he got rid of everything, the Lexus, everything. They finally got rid of their storage unit, and they've decided to move to the Philippines for good. So that's what happened this last time. He's also went for the 13A visa. For those of you that don't know, the 13A visa, Mike, I'm sure knows. Probably everybody in here knows what it is, but just to go over it real quick, it's a person who's married to a Filipino or a Filipina. So, I mean, if you're a female, you marry a Filipino male, you can get a 13A visa, which means you have to wait a year, you go through a year trial, then you become a regular visa holder. You can stay and come and go as you want. That first year, your spouse could decide they don't want to sponsor you anymore, and you can be kicked out of the country. But it's a way of getting a visa. It's a cheaper visa. And when I say cheaper, I mean it costs you less money than some of the others. But it lets you stay permanently. You don't have to leave every 3 years. You don't have to do the bialagmon, however they pronounce that word, where you leave once a year with your spouse and come back in together. You got another free year. You can do that, which is what Dan's been doing. But Dan goes out more than once a year anyway, so it's a good way to do it because they're going to travel anyway. That's what they want to do. So why get a visa, a 13A visa, when you can just do that? When that is what you want. That's your lifestyle you want to live. So there's that. You take Tim. He did the military visa, which is a cheaper way to do it. If you're qualified, if you're former military from, Canada, the United States, a few other countries. If you're military and you've got a proper discharge, you can apply for a military visa. You pay $1,400 or $1,500 US. to apply for it, and then you put, I want to say it's $1,400 to apply and $1,500 in the a Filipino bank. That's your money, but it's got to stay there. But you can take it out anytime you want and leave. It's your money, but you got to have at least $1,500 in there all year long. So you can put money in and take it back out and just use it as a bank account. But got to be a minimum of $1,500 in there. If it goes under that, then you probably have to leave. But if you have that, you can come and go as you want, pretty much, and you can not go at all if you don't want to. It lets you stay permanently. You never have to leave, and that's not dependent upon you being married to anyone. It's just that's a courtesy visa they give to the service people of certain countries. I believe Canada, United States, probably New Zealand and Australia probably qualify as well. I'm not sure, but so there's that. And if I go for a permanent visa, that's probably the one I would go for. I qualify for that one. So that's what I would do. But I'm not going to do that when I first get there. Although I may change my mind and do it right away. Because like I said, all right, you're out $1,400. And if you're not approved, you don't get that money back, but the other money's yours. Hey, Tim, thanks for coming, man. And so anyway, those are things you can do. I'm going to turn off my mic and go off camera for a moment, folks. I got to sneeze, so I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, but I had to take care of that. It doesn't make good video to blow your nose on camera. So anyway, like I said, there's so many things I'd like to do. Hey, I'll have to check that out, Tim. I don't mind lizards. I don't like snakes, though. I'm not a big fan of snakes, even though I was born in the year of the snake. So this is my birth year celebration, I guess, in the Chinese zodiac. It's the year of the snake. I was born in the year of the snake. So isn't it kind of ironic? I don't like snakes. Now, I'm not like my father. My father, I think he had a deathly fear of snakes for some reason. I do not like them. I don't want them anywhere near me. If I can keep from it, which I can most of the time. So I stay away from them, and they stay away from me, and we get along great. But yeah, like I said, I was born in the year of the snake, so this tells you how old I'm going to be this year, doesn't it? No, it doesn't unless you know the year I was born. I'll tell you, I'll be 72 this year. Oh, just to give a heads up, I'm thinking about having a celebration next month. It'll be 26 years since I quit smoking next month. So I'm thinking about having a celebration for that. I'll have to get a hold of my favorite game player and see if we can set something up. So those here, if you have Gcash and I've been to my celebrations before, you know who I'm talking about. And you know the kind of things we usually do. It will be strictly sponsored by me. And there will be a little bit of money. Sech Pucci, hello, how you doing, Sech? And I don't know if you heard Sech, but you can tell ABCM group if you want that I plan on having a celebration next month. I still have to set it up. We'll try to set it up with Elvie, and we'll do a celebration for 26 years since I quit smoking. March 3rd will be 26 years, so we'll probably do it the week Saturday before that, which will be March 1st, I believe. But I got to check with Elvie first to see if she can do it. We can do it the next week later. We'll come up with a day to do it. So we'll have a celebration of 26 years of ex-smoker. We'll think of a term for it, either ex-smoker, not, probably ex-smoker or 26 years since quitting smoking, something like that. And but we'll do something. And you know me, I like to celebrate certain milestones. I would have done 25 years last year, but I just did my 70th birthday. So I thought, well, you know, I don't want to do them that close together. So we'll do this one. We'll do it for 26 years. Now, I smoked for over 27 years. And so we still haven't done that. So I may actually do another one next year. Who knows? I might do something else. I'll do another. I'll try to do a celebration once a year for something, whether it's my birthday or something else. I'll come up with something to celebrate. There's always something you can find to celebrate. Another day above ground. I mean, you know, that's something to celebrate. But like I said, it'll be 26 years, March 3rd, since I quit smoking. The hardest thing I ever did was quit smoking. I dreamt about cigarettes for almost a year. The withdrawal wasn't as long. The physical withdrawal. Hey, Megan, how you doing? The physical withdrawal from the cigarettes lasted a little bit. Hey, Ed, how you doing, man? For you that don't know, my channel is Eddie. I can't think of Eddie's last name right now. His wife is Joyce. They live in New Mexico. So he just came up. I'm sorry, Tim. I didn't see the one you removed. Like I said, so we're going to try to set up a celebration next month with Elvie, if I can get her to help me. She usually does. She's helped me with all my other celebrations. And man, I can't believe that thing's still working. Those batteries just lasted a long time. So yeah, hey Crystal, I'm going to be setting up. Just to let you know, Crystal, I'm going to be setting up a celebration if I can next month with Elvie. I'm going to celebrate 26 years since I quit smoking, and so that's what we're going to do. Like I said, I've been trying to think of what to celebrate. I wanted to do a celebration, and everybody was doing their Christmas, so I waited, and I wanted to celebrate a different time. So this time we'll just do a celebrate by quitting smoking, and because it is a big milestone. I mean, I don't know how many times I tried quitting smoking before I actually quit. And like I said, I dreamt about cigarettes for about a year after I quit. The physical withdrawal, that didn't last real long, if you ask me, maybe a week at the most, probably a couple of days. But the psychological withdrawal, you know, the hand to mouth, you're so used to going like this, you know, that once you quit smoking, you kind of had, what do I do with my hands? And then there was that psychological addiction that, you know, it was just really was tough kicking. I mean, every time I had a cup of coffee, you know, I smoked. If I went out drinking, I smoked. After I got done eating, I smoked. I mean, so you had all those triggers for smoking that you had to face every day. I didn't go drinking for quite a while until I was more comfortable in the fact that I quit. Because I was still drinking back in those days. And so I didn't go to the bars or anything for a while because I didn't want that trigger. I knew there would be a trigger with that drink that I might break down and ask for a cigarette. And so till I'd quit for a few months, I stayed out of the bars. I really did. It was like I got to stay away from that, you know. And so that was my biggest fear, was getting into a trigger situation that I would give into. And because, like I said, I mean, when I first got up in the morning, I'd light up a cigarette. I mean, even before I had that first cup of coffee, I mean, that was one of the first things I did when I got up, was light up a cigarette. And so, you know, it was a very tough habit to quit. And because, like I said, almost everything I did was a trigger. I mean, there was times where I smoked over 2 packs a day. And I was working one job. I would take, as soon as I finished one cigarette, I'd light the cigarette I just finished. I'd light the next cigarette with it. That's what we call chain smoking. I was chain smoking at work because it was so boring. I was standing in this little guardhouse, not much bigger than what my desk is, which is about 4 foot wide. So it was probably about 4 foot wide, maybe 5 foot or 6 foot deep. And that's how big my guardhouse was. And over half of that was taken up by a desk and shelving for badges and stuff. So I'm in a small room without a whole lot of room to move around in, and not a lot to do, but stand there and wait for people to come by or need something, which I was busy when I started and busy when I finished, busy at lunchtime. The rest of the time I was bored out of my mind. So I was chain smoking. And I had to, how I broke that habit. How I broke that habit was I'd force myself to put the cigarette out, and I'd wait 5 minutes, and it would be agonizing until 5 minutes got to be easy. Then I'd force myself to go 10 minutes. Then I'd force myself to go 15 minutes. I got to where I was going an hour in between cigarettes, but it was an agonizing, painstaking method that was grueling and played hard on my nerves until I was able to do it. And I still smoked for years after that. I still smoked another 20-some years after that. No, not quite that long. About another 15 years. Nope. Let's see. That would have been 10 to 15 years after that. I still smoked. And I smoked for 27 years, a pack a day or more. Now, I smoked longer than that. I smoked for over 30 years. But I was a pack a day or more for 27. I smoked more, probably close to 35 years. But that would be like a cigarette or two a day. I've seen that one, Tim. Actually, I've watched it a couple of times. It's a pretty good one. And I'm glad to hear. I hope it hits 100,000 for you. That would be great. But I'd just like to hit 7,000. My best, I think, is 5, Tim. I would love to hit 7,000. I think my very best was right around 3,000 to 5,000, somewhere in there. I want to say 5, but it might only be 3. I've hit 3 a couple times though, but most of mine are less than 1,000, even the good ones. I'm happy if I get to 150, 200. But you know, like I said, I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this so when I do retire, I have something to do. This part I love. I mean, I love doing live streams. I am a talker, as you can probably tell. But Jerry, Tim, I'm going to tell you something. I can add up probably all of my videos, and I don't know if I'd come up with 70,000 views. That's how much better. That's how good that one is. I might come up with 70,000 views if I had all of them, but I'd have to add all of them to come up with that, I think. And I still might not make it. Because like I said, my best one, the one I can think of right off the top of my head, which I think is 5,000, a little over 5,000, is the main break room at the Amazon. That's my very best one. The next best one, see, my mom only got 1,000. A giant dog got a few, more than I ever thought it would get. But yeah, I tell you, Tim, there's a whole lot of us will never get to that level, buddy. So be proud. I said, I doubt if I ever get to 7,000 views, but that's okay. I didn't start this to make money. I didn't start this to become famous. I started this for fun. And as long as it's fun, I'll continue to do it. Like I said, I wanted something to do once I retire. I know me. If I don't have something to do, I'll lay around the house all day, watch TV, get fatter and lazier than what I am. I mean, I enjoy walking, but right now my arches are killing me, so I can't walk as much as I like. I'm trying to get that straightened out. So wherever I live, hey, Maris, thank you for coming. So wherever I do live, I want to live close enough to walk to a coffee shop, a mall if possible. I'd like to be able to walk to a restaurant that I like. My favorite apartment I ever lived in was in Terre Haute. I had a Dairy Queen within, 3 blocks from where I live? I believe it was 3. It might have been 4. 3 or 4 blocks. A gas station within 4 blocks. A grocery store within 2 blocks. A decent family bar restaurant, because, there's a bar side and a restaurant side. That was about 2.5 blocks. The bar I actually liked was less than a mile, which back then I walked. If I was going to go drinking, I would sometimes drive. Then if I had too much to drink, I'd walk home and walk back the next day to get my car. All right, Jerry. All right. But Jerry, you got to remember now, that's adding every one of my videos up. Every one of them. And probably my live streams as well. So 89,000 views. That's a lot better than I thought, because I never checked that out. I really don't I pay attention to the individual videos. And so like I said, that's every one of them. Some of them have been real stinkers. Don't even hit 100. I mean, I think I got a couple in there didn't even hit 50. But yeah. So I got you beat by less than 20,000. Your one video. That's all of mine. Tim, you still blow me away, because if you add all yours up, I'll bet you it's more than 89,000. If nothing else, just because of that one. I don't know if you're still in the background there where you can hear me or not, Mike, but people are telling you hi. And Mike's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, not Philadelphia. He's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, like I said, Maris just told you hi. There's some others have been saying hi, but I just, But yeah, Tim was talking about his latest, his rare fruits video has reached over 70,000 views. That one video, and now if he looked up mine, and if you add all mine together, I'm at 89,000. His one video almost got me beat. Yeah, hey, but Tim, you do put up some very interesting videos. That's all there is to it. That's why you've had some success. It's like Dan. Dan's hit on a good formula. He's almost to 4,000 followers, I believe. It might only be 3, but I think he's almost to 4. And it's because of his formula, because of the way he does his channel. He does a very good job with it. And there's very few people going to hit 100,000 followers. There are some that will do it. The Filipina P's are around 300,000 or more followers. She's extremely huge. You take Chris and Sabu, the one that we all like so much. He only hit around 11 or 12,000 followers. And, we were very faithful. I loved his channel. But I think he only got up to around 12,000. I think he had a very successful channel, if you ask me. And he did what he did, and he specialized in doing it. I told Dan he ought to do a live stream walking around Cebu next time he's over there. I moved to Cebu. It'd be interesting to try to do, but I don't know if I could do one while I'm walking. You know, showing you guys everything and following the chat. I just don't know how well I can do that. Chris was very good at it. He was, and so yeah, you know, like I said, I'm up to a little over 1,300 people, and I'm happy with that. If I ever hit 2,000, I'll probably have another celebration for 2,000. But it's going to have to hit 2,000 and stay there for a while because it goes up. With me, my channel goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And then it finally gets above and stays above it. But it's like for a long time, at 200 was up and down over 200. Then same thing with 1,000. I went up and over, up and back with it for a little while. I'm just a little over 1,300. I've stayed there here recently, but so I can feel safe saying I have a little over 1,300 followers, but it's very little over. But that's all right. Like I said, I'm not here to become the largest. I'm just here to have fun and try to entertain people. I'm trying to figure out what video I want to do for this next week. I'll do one. I want to do at least one. I think I've told you guys I joined a different gym, so I'm going to have to go to my own gym and cancel my membership. I tried to do it online, but it keeps trying to get me to sign up. And I can't see a way to do it online, so I'll just go in person and maybe I'll do a weight video and check my weight one last time at the gym. So it'll be the same thing. I know I'm up from my last video on my weight. Because like I said, I have not been walking anywhere near as much. I'm finally getting back to where I can walk more, but I'm still not back to where I can walk as much as I did. As I can, I was getting almost as many steps in, not quite, but it takes me longer because my feet start hurting, so I have to break it up more. And but I can walk longer than I could this last summer. So I still have to check with the what are they called? Podiatrists, the foot doctors. I have to talk with them and see if, but I got to wait 3 months total before I really say anything to see how bad my feet are. Hey, man, thank you for coming. So right now, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get my feet back. But the gym I've joined has got a pool, so I'll be able to walk in the pool. It'll be easier on my knees. It'll be easier on my feet. It's easier on your joints. They have what they call a lazy river, which is supposed to be good for walking and doing exercise in. There was another gym that had a pool that I thought about. It's much cheaper than the one I joined, that gym, but it's I didn't like the pool as well. It's strictly a lap pool, only 3 laps, only 3 lanes. This one has the 3-lane laps. They turn one into 4 lanes. So you've got basically a 4-lane lap pool, and then they got this big pool for the families can get in there and play. Plus, they got that lazy river. And so I'll do a video of that sometime too here soon to show you that if they let me. I got to check with the gym to find out if they mind if I do a video, and if I can do a video of the whole place. The pool will be the last part of the video I will do. I'll probably break it into the upstairs where the weights and the exercise equipment's at. They also have a basketball court. I'll probably show that separately, and then I'll do the pool. So I'll probably get 3 videos out of that place if they let me do videos. And so we'll find that out this month. And if they let me do them, I'll do those. You'll see why I love the pool. It'll be the last one I do because I want to see the best for last. At least in my opinion, it's the best. I'll show you the pool. I'm not going to be showing myself in the pool. I don't think that's good for anybody. it would give me nightmares. But like I said, I got to start working on getting in better shape. I got to start working on my balance, my endurance. I may have to start using those stair climbers, but that'll be later. That'll be much later. I won't do that at first. I want to get to where I can move better, a little easier, get my joints a little better shape. Because the more I use them, the less they hurt. It's that simple. At least that's the way it's always been. So that's why I want to start using the pool where I can walk and it'll be easier on the joints, build them back up. Because like I said, this last summer, I've not walked much at all. So I've really gone to use the correct term, I've really gone to pot, which means I've got now shape even more. So I got to start getting my body back into used to walking and moving. And so the arthritis won't bother me as much. Then I can start doing some other exercises to build endurance and strengthen the correct part of the body, which would be my legs for stairs and stuff. Because I know there's going to be places I won't want to go to because of how steep or how many stairs, but I don't want to be where I can't do any of it. I mean, you watch some of Dan's videos. Some of the places are Danny's from on the road to the Philippines. Some of the places they go. Right now, I couldn't do those. I not without stopping many times to take a break. Now going down is not hard on those areas. Hey, Amara, how you doing, Amara? Thanks for coming. But anyway, those things aren't hard going down as much because it's a little easier on your body going down than it is going up. You're not using quite as much exertion. There's still exertion, but it's easier. It's less exertion. And so, like I said, I just want to get into shape where I can go to some of the falls that are a little out of the way, or some of the views that are a little farther out of the way that you have to really do some climbing, or either to get to or get back out of. Because some of them you go downhill to get to, but you got to go back up that hill later. So there's always going up a hill, whether it's to get to it or get back up to where you were at. And so I got to get in better shape for that. I will never be in great shape, I don't think. I'm starting too late in life, but I can be in a lot better shape than I am. Maybe I can get rid of this turkey neck sometime, but that'll have to be my surgery probably. But that's all right. But you're going to have the weight off for so many years before they even willing to think about that. And I may never do it. The surgery I'm talking about. But anyway, like I said, it's just something I got to start doing if I really want to enjoy my time in the Philippines. Because I don't want to just sit in the apartment and do nothing. I do want to go out and see things. Now, I may have to limit to what I go and see and do as being inside cities or villages or easy walks. But I want to be able to push beyond that if I can. I do want to, like I said, the river walk in the Iloilo, I'd love to see that and do that. That's something I can do easily, I guess. I mean, I may have to take breaks to go all the way around it. Right now I would, but maybe not after a while. Maybe I'll get in good enough shape I'll be able to do that without a break. But like I said, I don't know for sure where I want to live yet. I do know I don't want to live where I'm at. Nothing against this place outside of I hate winter. And I want to quit working. Where I'm living right now, I can't quit working. I mean, if I want to live where I'm at, I either got to keep working or get government assistance. And if you get government assistance, they tell you what you can and can't do with your money, pretty much. If you get so much money, then they want to punish you for it. So you got to keep your money under a certain amount of money, and that depends on I don't know how much that is, but they want to kind of control a lot more. If they're going to help you, and I understand that because they're giving you extra money. My Social Security is money I earned by working, and paying into it. Some people try to say it's a what's the term they use? It means what they're saying is, well, you're not. They call it an entitlement. Like, oh, you're not really entitled to that. Yes, I am. I paid into it. I'm entitled to that money. And there's some people try to say, oh no, that's no. Those of us that have been working all our lives, paying into it all our lives, are entitled to that money. It is an entitlement that we earned. It's earned. So if they try to use it as entitlement as saying, well, you didn't earn it, you're just being given that money. No, I paid into it. That's my money. Now, the first people that started drawing Social Security didn't pay into it. It's that simple. When they first came up with Social Security, they gave it to people that never earned it. And that's true. But that was back in the 30s. Anybody that got money that did not earn it from those days are long been dead. I mean, they'd be well over 120, 130 years by now. Matter of fact, they'd be older than that, probably be around 140 to 150. So those people have been long dead, long dead. My grandfather was entitled to some money, probably, but my grandfather would be 125 years old next month, and he'd been paying into it since it was inception. It was, but he had been around for a long time before he started paying into it. But by the time he was able to collect it, he'd been paying into it probably longer than he wasn't. But there was people like my great-grandfather, who was, his dad didn't pay a whole lot of money into it, but he was born in the 1800s. My grandfather was 1900. My great-grandfather was born in the 80s, 1870s. That's the grandfather I'm named after, the one that was born way back then. The one born in the late 1870s, early 1880s. That's my grandfather, Lawrence Ferran. My mom thought Lawrence was stuffy, so she named me Larry. My real name is Larry. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? Thank you for coming. I've been going for quite a while, folks. I don't know how much longer I've been going. I've been going over an hour and 40 minutes. And Mike's been in the background, but he's not been saying much. I've been hogging all the airtime, it looks like. But I hope he's having a good visit with his family. I know he said he's visiting his father who's in the nursing home. Like I said, when I go back to Indiana, I visit my mom in the nursing home. And I'd like to got home for her 99th birthday this year, but wintertime, the travel from New York to Indiana is a little treacherous. You don't know what kind of weather because I got to drive by two of the Great Lakes, and you don't know what kind of weather you're going to get. And then I also heard that my mom had a pretty bad cold, so they had to cancel her birthday party anyway. So that wasn't good. And but yeah, but we'll see. I'll see her this summer sometime. I'll go home for a week or more. I'll visit with my mother. Whenever I go home, I go see my mother every day. I usually leave about the time she starts falling asleep on me. She does that frequently now. And outside of the last time I visited, my mom's always known who I was. The last time she asked me who I was again, I said, I'm your son, Larry. She goes, oh, that's right. You're Larry. Because like I said, I had two brothers. So I'm not sure she just couldn't remember which son I was, or if she couldn't remember, because I know one time she couldn't remember my two sisters that she lived with before she went to the nursing home. She called them her friends instead of her daughters. And so her dementia is, I think, starting to get worse. Makes me sad, but at least, like I said, outside the last time, and I'm not talking about the whole last trip, just the last time I went in to see her and was able to talk with her. And that was the only time she didn't know I was Larry. And all the rest of my family that's gone to visit her have had times where she didn't know who they were. So I've been very fortunate with that. And I was told by one of my sisters that she used to have a picture she would hold of me. She would hold in her hand. Maybe that was to remind her who I was. I don't know, because I've never seen her holding the picture. But I was told that she held a picture of me a lot. So, and like I said, I am the last surviving son. And my older brother died at 37. My younger brother at 56. So, yeah, it's been a while, and been a minute, as they say. All right, folks. Hey, look, I've been an hour and 45 minutes. I think I'm going to close it up. I need something to drink. My tea is gone. I'm going to have to make some more tea as well. I got like one glass left. I make it by the pitcher, so I'll put some tea in the refrigerator tonight. I make cold tea by cold brew. That way tomorrow I'll have tea. I got orange juice I could drink as well. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this one down. Hey, Mike, if you're there, you want to come up and say goodbye to everybody? And,
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
All right. Like I said, I'm getting ready to shut it down, so go ahead and tell everybody bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right. We'll see you later, Mike. You take care, man. I hope your dad's feeling well.
Yeah, he is.
Well, that's good. That's good. All right.
All right.
All right, everybody. Remember now, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Plus, try to have fun. Take care, everyone. I'm going to end the stream now. Bye.